Hello everybody, this is Goosebumps Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing Welcome to Dead House. This is the first in the Goosebumps series, which is written by R.L. Stine. Welcome to Dead House is about a girl named Amanda and her family who move into a new house. The house was given to Amanda's father by his uncle, who he has never met. It actually takes about 25 pages for Amanda's family to move into the dead house. Upon which Amanda starts seeing different people in her room, kind of like ghosts, only for them to disappear shortly thereafter. Amanda also sometimes can hear people whispering in her room, but when she goes to open up the door, the whispers go away. Amanda and her brother Josh try adjusting to living into the new home, and they end up meeting some kids from the neighborhood and even start playing baseball with them. So the way that I'm going to rate and review these books and stories is based on a few different things, two of which do not actually count towards the score, those two being silly and scary. The things that do add up are character likability, the story itself, and the ending. Those three things will create the average score, which will be shown later. This story really didn't have a lot of silly moments. For that reason, I'm going to give it a 1 out of 5. The only thing that was really silly is in the beginning of the book, there was a moment where one of those things where, like, the character opens up a door and then a hand reaches out to grab them, and then you turn the page and then it ends up being, like, their dad, and, it's not very scary at all. So, a few of those moments happened in the beginning of the book, which, gives it a 1 out of 5 for this. There weren't a lot of scary moments in this book. For that reason, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. There was a scene where the main character had a nightmare about her family being dead and eating a pile of bones. That was pretty gruesome. And the last 25% of the book was fairly scary. The rest was kind of slow. Having Amanda think that there's someone in her room, that there might be basically ghosts. That's kind of what it seems like when the book, the way the book portrays it, is that there might be ghosts in her room. And of course, whenever she goes into her room, they're gone. And it's really not scary. When those moments happen, they're really not scary because nothing actually happens. She sees someone, she runs into the room, and then there's nothing there. So yeah, a 2 out of 5, a little subpar. As far as characters go, though, I'm going to have to give this a 4 out of 5. The characters were fairly believable. The parents acted like I would expect real-life parents to act. At first, Josh, Amanda's brother, was really, really annoying. But as the book got on, especially I'd say about like 30% through the book, he just suddenly changed, and he wasn't annoying, and he was a little stubborn, but the characters were very believable, and they weren't awful characters that you hate to read about, They were decent. They weren't like awful people. So even like the supporting characters in the neighborhood, such as a character named Ray, which they meet along the way, not too bad. Some of the characters, obviously, they never get fleshed out, and that just happens in books and stories. As far as the story goes, I'm going to have to give this a 2 out of 5. The concept of them getting a new home from an uncle who they've never met, and then moving into a home where kinda sorta the main character sees ghosts, it's not really that interesting. The writing is totally fine. The writing is great, but the concept of the story is not the best. The name Welcome to Dead House might imply zombies or, a haunted house. But that's kind of like a misnomer because it's really not about that. The story kind of is about, like, Amanda seeing ghosts or what she thinks is ghosts, even though she doesn't ever use the word ghost. She thinks that, like, they look alive, but then they just disappear, which is my description of a ghost. So, yeah. Definitely going to have to give this a 2 out of 5. As far as the ending goes, and I'm not going to spoil it, I'm going to do a separate series of videos that spoils the endings, which you can choose to watch. It was really good. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. It had all the elements that a traditional horror story should have. It had a very minor twist at the very end. Nothing too shocking, but it was actually really gruesome. Probably the most gruesome ending out of the Goosebumps books, at least the original series, that we'll find. So yeah, a 4 out of 5. Okay, so that wraps up everything. The average score is a 3 out of 5. I liked the book. I thought it's worth a read. It's a good start to the series. It's not the best, and it has some flaws, but it definitely has some upsides, such as the characters and the ending. But some less points, such as it wasn't as scary as I wanted, and the story, the concept of the story, wasn't all that great. I hope you enjoyed watching this episode of Goosebumps Reviews. I'll catch you next time.